Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Different car, different problem. So this is my pride and joy car, and the alternator's now given up on this car, so I'm gonna change the alternator and show you guys how to do it. Now normally you have to strip everything from the top of this car. Here you're gonna take the radiator out, the radiator fan out and the fan cowl out and the airbox and everything to try and get to it. But I am gonna try something a little bit different, as we love to on the channel, and I am gonna try and access the alternator purely from the underside. So the alternator lives up there, just tucked away in there, and I'm going to try and bring it out through this gap here, rather than having to take everything out, you know, as all the other videos suggest, because I think there is more than enough space in here to do that. I should be able to move some of these hoses out here. So for context, this is an AJ133, that's a 5-litre V8 supercharged Range Rover engine. So yeah, if you guys have a similar engine and you're looking to do some of that work, this video might help you guys do that. So that being said, I haven't really shown this car on my channel. That's because this is my personal car. This is my pride and joy. So if you guys are interested in this, and you know what, this is not one of those I've bought the cheapest L322 nonsense videos that you see on YouTube. If you want to see more videos on this car, I've owned this car for years now. You know, I can tell you a lot of things about this. I've done a lot of work to the car, so if you want to know more and see more, like and subscribe. When this channel hits about, let's just say, 1,000 subscribers, help me out, support me. I will tell you guys and show you my pride and joy. So before you do anything with the alternator or touch anything on that side, come to the battery first, disconnect the negative and move it out of the way, and make sure that it won't accidentally slip and make contact again, because that's very dangerous for yourself underneath the car. So yeah, just be very careful, guys. Do this first before you do anything else. So first things first, we need to loosen off the belt that connects to it. So that is this tensioner here on facing the car. This is on the right hand side. It connects up the aircon compressor and the alternator over on the other side as well. So yeah, you just need to use a 1/2 inch on the little hole there, and then you should be able to just move that off, loosen the belt, and then we can crack on and try and take the alternator out. Okay, so the belt's loosened off. Those 2 bolts there are what we're after to loosen the bottom end mounts off the alternator. And then, if I can show you roughly in there, bear with me. So above the pulley, there should be another bolt just there, and we should be able to get in there with a socket. Let me just see if I can get a better angle of it. Not quite, I don't think. Okay, so it should be behind the belt somewhere there. I think the belt's in the way, but there should be another bolt just behind that belt, and that should then drop out that alternator. So wish me luck. Okay, so just a quick update. Alternator is now loose and out of there, so I can literally move that around so it's loose inside where it is. So what I had to do was I had to take off this harness here. So undo 2 bolts that hold this. This also allows this pipe to become more flexible. Same thing here, there's another one. I just took that out, and then that should be okay. So there is a bit of adjustment. I had to loosen this bracket here slightly as well, so it can spin around like that. So just a couple of turns, so it can spin in its place to just get it out of the way. But now we're nearly there, so it should come out, to be honest, through this gap here. But we have a slight problem. Swing you around to here. So this little fella here is a vacuum pump, and actually works perfectly for me, because that needs to come out anyway. As you can see, it's a little bit wet, so it needs to be so I've got new gaskets for that one anyway. So essentially 2 bolts, and that should come straight out. So perfectly, you know, even if you're doing this and you need to take it out to put it back in again, it isn't too hard. Literally 2 bolts on either side, it'll come out, and then that should then, where that little vacuum line is, I show you here, that little fella there, that little vacuum line is in the way, because it protrudes slightly out. But if that's out of the way, the alternator should then just slide forward. We should be able to unplug it, and then we can try and wiggle it out of here. Okay, so as you can see, I've got it far forward now. Vacuum pump's out of the way. It's come forward, but now the belt is actually holding it in place. There's not enough room to kind of wiggle that through, so we will have to take off the other belt as well. Thankfully the tensioner is just there, so from the top we should be able to just pull that across, get the belt off, slip the belt off, and then hopefully maneuver the alternator out of there. So yeah, not too bad so far. Actually, overall isn't too bad, but yeah, don't hold me to that. Let's get this out. Hey everyone, so this little clip here, which is in the back of the alternator, is an absolute bitch to get out. It's just super stiff in there. So what I'd say is, going back through it, learning for you guys, do it from the top. So go in from here. If you take the little cover off the side of the engine here, you can actually get your hand in and behind the alternator, and then sort of put it out from here, if you will. So I just sort of wedged it back into place, put my hand down here through the back and pulled it out. So knowing what I know now, I would have taken that clip out first, but hopefully it's easier for you guys. Right, and that's the alternator out. So it does fit through here. Once you've managed to fish it out, you can move around the cables and so on, all the pipes and cables, and it will come through this gap here. Good thing is that flexes a little bit. You could undo these ones slightly, but I didn't have to. It sort of just pulled through, and yeah, that's it out. One thing I would say is this little bolt here that holds the, I think it's a negative cable or power cable onto the alternator here. This guy must have been tightened by Hercules himself. That thing was solid, which obviously means you have to hold on from the underneath and then do it maybe again, fishing from the top like we did the power, the cable here, you know, the adapter, sorry. Perhaps you could probably reach this from the top when you do it from the back, when it's still fixed in place. But yeah, when you can do it when it's out, but yeah, you literally need force to get that out. So I just had to use a spanner and a little bit of brute force, but yeah, that's come out. So now waiting for the new alternator. Unfortunately, FedEx have failed to deliver this on time, so hopefully that alternator gets here by later today, say Monday. We can get that changed. Cheers guys. Okay everyone, sorry for the wind noise, different day now. Alternator finally arrived. So as you can see, nice and shiny up in there. So it wasn't too difficult actually to feed it through. You can move it into the gap, just shifting the pipes out of the way, just turning it as you go, and then fastening the power cable to the top of it. That was a little bit trickier, but obviously that power cable has a little hook in it, so you got to make sure that it hits the hole. So what I did was I threaded it, you know, a couple of turns from the bottom until I couldn't turn it anymore, moved the alternator back into place where it belongs, and then from the top put my hand down the back and then just tighten it some more, because when it's sort of taking the tension off the cable, you were able to then adjust it down, and then obviously came back to the bottom, use the spanner again, and then tightened everything up and then move it back into place. So it is actually easier. So from the top, it's hard to put that plug back in from the top, so I'd suggest doing that from the bottom and then putting it back into place. So that's the only call out I have to say for that. The rest of it literally is as you took it out. So belts and everything else, just got to make sure that you've threaded all the belts properly onto all the pulleys, just checking them as you go. The tension on this thing is solid. So you do need a little bit of muscle. Easier if you have two people, one to sort of hold it from the top and then for you to thread all the belts at the bottom. I'm on my own, so yeah, it was a little bit trickier. Not gonna say I don't have a few bleeding spots on my arm, but yeah, if you got two people or someone just to help you for that part, you'll be able to manage. Yeah, other than that guys, that's pretty much it. Put everything back as you found it. I'm gonna put the vacuum pump back on. I just blocked it off with some tissue there just because it's been standing until the alternator came. So I'm going to put that back in again, 2 bolts for that, and then yeah, just all the little cables and harnesses we took off with those little bolts here, we're going to put back in again. That's it. Okay, so as you can see, the voltage is at 11.5, say, well 11.6ish. Let's give it a start and see what happens. Now you can see it's gone up to about 14.5, which is exactly what you want to see for a healthy alternator. It should be sitting at about 14, and that means it's charging the battery correctly. Let's take a quick look underneath the car, see what's going on. see, alternator's running good. No noise from the belts. Belts look good. Underneath, everything looks to be in order. Let's have a look at that vacuum pump. Yep, vacuum pump also looking. Vacuum pump's also looking pretty good. Yeah, good result, guys. So if you've enjoyed this video, please remember, like and subscribe if you want to see more videos about the Range Rover. But I'll leave you guys with a little parting gift.